Yeah, I think, rock and metal, we'll call it modern metal, is just in such a it feels like a boom right now, a resurgence. Just having chats with friends and it's like, I'm 34, but back when I was like 15, 16, 17, I didn't have the funds to go out and see my favorite bands come through Detroit or whatever it may be. And now that we're of the age and have some disposable income, when these bands do these 20-year anniversary shows and come back around and they have this lineup of all these other bands that you may have grew up listening to on top of having some of these new bands, and it kind of just appeals to our generation. And then, I don't have any kids, but I can imagine my kids, the next generation, it's like a family affair. So they're going out and seeing bands like, we just played When We Were Young and Blink 182 and Panic at the Disco are headlining. And then bands
Taking
like
Back Sunday, brand new.
The Used, man, that lineup was just stacked. But now you go out there and you see kids that are like 15 to 18, and then you see dudes our age and older that are out there all in the crowd. And I don't know, I think there's a bit of nostalgia. I think there's, yeah, I don't know
It's not
how
just throwback, right?
No,
There's
no.
all new bands with new albums, new music coming out all the time too.
I think people are pretty, I don't know if desperate is the right word, but I'll use it, desperate for experiences. And I think like pop concerts and all that stuff is like sick. You get to see your favorite pop artists, but the reality is how that music is produced is very tracks heavy. Like a lot of these artists go on stage, it's just them. They have no band playing instruments. And I think it's like a combination of like, you want to see a little bit of that risk factor of like a band really playing, and you might see them mess up, and that's kind of interesting. But also like in the rock and the metal community scene in particular, I think audience engagement is actually key to the experience, whether that's crowd surfing, mosh pits, whatever that is, as opposed to if you're going to go see a pop artist or whoever, you're kind of just sitting there and it's fun. It's cool. Like I've been to pop shows and it's fun, but metal and rock, it's a little bit more visceral, and with everyone, behind computers all day, it's fun to get punched in the face and to like scream your favorite songs at the same time. Makes you feel alive a little bit, I think.
And I think to your point too, with the pop and everything, is like it sounds just like the record, which is great. But there's something about that like push and pull of the live experience of the band all playing together, and I think there's a little bit of that on top of that too.
Yeah,
especially if you love a track or you love a band and they play your favorite track, but there's a twist on it. Oh, maybe there's a longer solo. Maybe they've added an additional chorus at the end. Maybe just the way that the singer that night decides to interpret a way to say the vocals sticks in your mind. I remember going and seeing bands like Bring Me in Newcastle when they first started doing like moderate-sized theaters. And they played a Halloween show. It was just after Jordan had joined the band. And I'd seen an opportunity, kind of like an ex-ugly girl who's just had a glow-up. I saw the opportunity to like befriend Jordan because he was brand new to the band and he was having some problem with Ableton. I messaged him about it on Twitter. We became friends and he said, why don't you come to the show that's happening at the O2? It was on Halloween and they came out fully face painted up as skeletons. They played the whole show as skeletons. I remember like watching that show from the back and thinking so many of the songs that I knew really well just had little twists and adaptations that had been made.
Yeah.
And that was great because it is a unique experience. And I guess, well, actually, if you were to say that from the pop side, who nearly fucking killed that? Was it Beyonce that nearly got killed by a car that was over the top of flying over the top of the, I swear it was. Beyonce was doing a show and she's one of those like floating stage things that, goes right over the crowd and everyone gets to look up. I'm pretty sure that some shit snapped. And like, imagine if you were the guy that killed Beyonce. You put the carabiner on wrong or something like that. My point being, you do get to see some stuff at pop shows. I guess sometimes people go upside down when they drum, but that's really kind of the pinnacle of it from like a show experience. There's a catwalk, maybe there's some cool blocking, maybe there's not, whatever. It suggests that there's something about rock and heavy music that you get out of that show that you can't recreate with Pink flying around a
Mhm.
stadium, or the Jonas Brothers with 20 people on stage, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think like pop, you're able to do the spectacle a little bit more. You can have Pink, doing trapeze over the audience. It's sick. Like I would love if Eric did the trapeze.
I don't know
over the
about that.
audience.
You're built for the trapeze.
Yeah.
Am I?
You have the exact body shape of a trapeze artist.
God.
I also think like from a songwriting perspective, like at least when I was growing up, metal was all about like how heavy can you make it? And I still think that's like part of it, but I think now more than ever metal and pop are fusing in a lot of ways, and fusing in a way that's done very well. Like I think people have tried it a lot where it's like they'll have these heavy breakdowns and they'll go into a very melodic chorus, but it just never like really meshes. But you know, you've got bands who are kind of taking these sounds and putting them all together, like, you know, Sleep Token, Bad Omens, all those bands who are really exploding. I mean, my theory is that they're exploding because they've mastered melodies so much. And at the end of the day, people want to listen to a song that maybe makes them feel a certain way, gives them energy at the gym or whatever, but without a melodic chorus, not all the time, but a lot of the time, it's not going to get stuck in their head. They're not going to come back to it. Don't get me wrong. I'm at the gym sometimes listening to Ass Beaters and I just want to like
Job for a Cowboy.
I just want to go like
man.
super hard, and that's really fun too. And even those bands are growing too. So it's almost like, I don't know if these bands all the way at the top are just kind of bringing the whole thing up with them, you know?
Yeah, definitely the verse chorus kind of pop structure of a song with some melody. I mean, say what you want about Sleep Token, dude. Caramel is one of the catchiest
Dude, it's so good.
fucking hooks maybe of all time of that genre.
Yeah.
Like, it is so sticky.
Yep.
And
That's fun. I like that.
it's just, you can't get it out of your head the first time that you hear that. So yeah, I think you're right. And it makes it radio friendly. It makes it, you know, like sort of chart friendly.
Yeah. And it's almost like, you know, I just talked about how so many bands are getting better at blending. But sometimes when you are like, I don't actually care about blending it, like that's a perfect example of a song where the first 3/4 of that song is a pop song, really done well. And then they're just like, and now we're just going to go into like the heaviest shit we've ever done ever. Right. And it's like sicker because it didn't even try to like meld them. It's just like, here's this and then here's this. And what a fun journey for everyone to be on. It's like you're really trying something, I think, more than, I don't know. I don't want to be like metal versus other genres, but
it's something about too, like you blows your expectations out. Like what you got 3/4 of the way through the song, you're like, okay, I kind of get where it's going. And then, oh man, there's this switch up at the end. And you know, I think when bands do that very well, it's like you have the listener on the edge of the seat. You know, you don't know what to expect. And you get halfway through the song and you're like, okay, this is cool. And then all of a sudden the bridge comes or the breakdown comes or the outro, whatever it is. There's you know, I don't see that much. You see that in hip hop a bit, but I don't really see that in pop. I feel like pop and country, it's just like you get 30 seconds of the song, you kind of know what you're going to get. Well, the emotion,
you're very rarely surprised.
Right.
The final theory is that maybe we're all just getting a little more fucked up and into like these things that just make us feel like viscerally. Like I feel like horror movies, I don't watch horror movies, but like I feel like those are on the rise also. And like almost the more messed up they are, the more popular they get. Like
do you think the messaging
the
messaging of metal is tapping into an emotion that's difficult for people to find catharsis with elsewhere?
Yeah, I think so. Some of these like very heavy metal bands and like just, you know, you look at the lyrics or listen to lyrics, it's just like very fucked up and aggressive. And I think it's just a healthy way to, you know, it's human emotion. It's you know, you're feeling that. It's just a healthy way, I feel like, to get that out, especially when you're in a small club with 200 people listening to just ass beater breakdowns over and over and over, just screaming about the most like dark message, dark stuff, you know, like the Acacia Strain is one band that had some like hateful lyrics back in the day. And it's just, you know, I don't feel that way. I don't feel like, you know, chopping people up or whatever, Cannibal Corpse or anything like that. But to feel that health in a healthy way, I guess, is something I think especially
it's certainly elevated. If you look at like a Sleep Token or a Bad Omens now, the message is just like poetic emo,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
right? It's Ohio is for Lovers for 2025.